Once, there was a beggar who spent his days on the streets, begging for coins. At the end of each day, as he counted the few coins in his hands, he would burst into tears and pray, "Oh God, please help me." Day after day, his life remained the same. One day, an elderly millionaire approached him, handing him a check worth $10 million. The man then led the beggar to a grand mansion and said, "This house is now yours." Shocked, the beggar asked, "Why me?" The old man replied, "I don't have much time left before I go. I want to help others." The beggar's life changed overnight. No longer poor, he moved into the luxurious house and began living a wealthy life. One day, a friend came to him in tears and said, "My wife is gravely ill and needs urgent treatment. Can you help us?" Without hesitation, the beggar gave him a generous sum. Another time, a group of friends invited him to celebrate his birthday, and they partied lavishly. Slowly, his lifestyle became extravagant and wasteful. Over time, his wealth dwindled. Eventually, he found himself as poor as before. Desperate, he decided to sell the mansion to stay afloat. One day, a buyer knocked on his door. It was the same elderly millionaire. Seeing the once magnificent mansion in ruins, the old man said coldly, "A person who cannot cherish the success they didn't work for is bound to lose it. This house is mine again, leave." The beggar, shocked and angry, exclaimed, "A wealthy man was sitting in the back seat of his luxurious car when he saw someone on the side of the road eating grass. He ordered his driver to stop and got out to see what was happening. He asked the man, 'Why are you eating grass?' The poor man replied, 'I have no money to buy food.' The rich man said, 'Please come to my house.' The poor man responded, 'But sir, I have a wife and 4 children.' The rich man said, 'Bring them along too.' They all got into the luxurious car. As they resumed their journey, the poor man said, 'Sir, you are so kind. Thank you for taking all of us in.' The wealthy man replied, 'No problem, the grass at my house has grown over 3 feet tall.'" A couple, after being married for 11 years, had a baby boy. They were deeply in love, and the boy was the apple of their eyes. When the boy was about 2 years old, one morning, the husband noticed that a bottle of medicine was left open. He was running late for work, so he quickly told his wife to close the bottle and put it back in the cabinet. His wife was busy in the kitchen and completely forgot about the open bottle. Their boy, intrigued by the colorful bottle, toddled over to it. Attracted by its color, he took a big gulp. Unfortunately, it was a toxic medicine, meant to be taken in small doses only by adults. The child collapsed immediately. The mother, in a panic, rushed him to the hospital, but the boy could not be saved. She was in shock and terrified of how she would face her husband when the grief-stricken father arrived at the hospital and saw his deceased child. He looked at his wife and simply said 5 words, "Darling, I'm here for you." His reaction was completely unexpected. It was an act of profound understanding. The child was gone and could never be brought back. Blaming his wife at that moment would have served no purpose. After all, if he had taken the time to put the bottle away himself, this tragedy could have been avoided. No one should be blamed. She had also lost their only child, and at that moment she needed comfort and compassion from her husband, which is exactly what he gave her. If everyone could approach life with such a perspective, the world would have far fewer problems. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Let go of all jealousy, hatred, selfishness, and fear, and you'll find that things are not as difficult as they seem. Sometimes we get caught up in assigning blame, whether in relationships, work, or with the people we know, and in doing so, we miss out on the warmth that human connections can offer. There was a wealthy man with 3 daughters. One day, while a cleaner was tidying up in his house, the man secretly hid behind a door and observed. The first daughter walked by and spilled coffee on the floor. Then the second daughter walked in, took some trash from her bag, and carelessly tossed it on the ground. Finally, the third daughter entered, saw the cleaner working hard, and kindly said, "You've been working all day. Come have dinner with me." Later, the man gathered his 3 daughters and gave each of them a gift. The first daughter opened her gift and found the coffee she had spilled on the floor inside. The second daughter opened hers and found the trash she had thrown on the ground. The third daughter opened her gift and found a large sum of money along with the note. The note read, "Dear daughter, all of my wealth now belongs to you." True wealth comes from the kindness and care you show to others.